Hi, this is Lance from Aaron Gaming, and we are going to start Final Fantasy IV. This is episode 1. This has been a
Final
long time
Fantasy
coming,
2.
and this like Final Fantasy 3 took me forever to clear, Tim. And this is what I was
Okay.
gonna say. You need to play Final Fantasy 3, Tim, because it is
Oh.
a grinder's paradise. In fact, the only real way to beat the game is to grind. I would argue.
Yeah, but I watched you grinding and it looks like the most boring, tedious thing ever. And I don't want to play with those stupid sprites.
If you know the little ins and outs of it, or if you like follow a guide or something, it's actually not that bad. And I didn't use a macro that much. In fact, the place I ground wouldn't allow you to use a macro pretty much just the way it was designed. But anyway, so let's talk about Final Fantasy IV, Tim.
Final Fantasy 2.
Okay, well let's talk about that first. Hold on, I'm gonna actually try to start it.
Okay, hang on. Before we start this, here's my question for you as you do your little setup to the conversation. I mean, what was your experience before this game came out? Because this was like a groundbreaking game. But
It
what
broke
was your
ground.
first experience?
Is that because they use
What was
Meteo, Tim? Is that a Meteo joke?
no? Am I on your camera?
Yeah,
Are you using that video?
yeah.
That's not, because I don't want to change the background to Final Fantasy related stuff. Can you not change the portion of the window so it's not like half the building and we're chopped off?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm seeing.
It's your. I'm just sharing my screen.
Oh, okay. Anyway, okay, this is my question. One, did you play Dragon Warrior? Two, did you play through Final Fantasy One before you played Final Fantasy Two, the American version? And I want to know what your experience was with role playing those type of role playing games prior to the masterpiece that was Final Fantasy Two.
I did
That's
not
my first question.
play. I didn't play. No, Final Fantasy. The only thing I played before Final Fantasy was The Legend of Zelda, Zelda games, and Lagoon. I think I played Lagoon before Final Fantasy. By the way, we need to do a stream and do that whole game, Tim. That game is awesome. I miss that game.
Is that the one we played the other day, like a few months ago, and it was like on an island and really weird? You couldn't do anything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But no, Dragon Warrior I didn't play until after I cleared Final Fantasy 2 multiple times. But anyways, I want to get into that conversation, but
Okay.
I want to start the game first.
Well, that's like a 20-minute cutscene of dialogue.
Yeah,
Really was.
that's what makes Final Fantasy 4 hard. Is the beginning is like, okay,
But it's awesome.
it
It's so
is,
good.
and that's why if it wasn't for this intro, I wouldn't have ever played Final Fantasy 4 because
I'm
the
sure you would.
I hated the what do they call it? The stupid traditional JRPG menu system. The way you fought. What do they call that? They have a special word for it. I can't think of it.
This
It
turn
wasn't.
based.
It wasn't an action RPG, and I was only familiar
Turn
with it.
based.
What?
Turn based
Yeah,
RPG.
turn based. This is the first time I'd ever played a turn based game, and so it starts out right, and you don't have control because it's a cutscene. So you're like,
Yeah.
back then you're like, oh, look at these graphics, these are
Yeah.
awesome, because you went from like, I don't know, like, I don't know, just, I mean, Legend of Zelda, even Legend of Zelda, it's comparable to in terms of graphics. I mean, not the new one, but the
No, I
new.
know what you mean.
And so you're like, wow, this is the only thing I've ever played like this is Zelda, and this is gonna be awesome. And then it's like you finally get to where you can control it, and you're like, what the crap is this? I was like, what the crap is this? I don't want to play this game.
You're like wandering around talking to people and
Yeah, but by the well, wandering around talking to people is fine. That's like Zelda. But when you get into
no,
battle,
it's not. No, it was not. Zelda was not like that.
yes, it was. It's the
No,
same. It's the same formula.
Zelda 1 and 2. This are you talking about Zelda: Link to the Past?
Yeah. I don't know if I played this before or after Link to the Past. I must have played it before.
Link to the Past came out first, but it was pretty close. They were both on the first couple waves, at least the first year.
Well, when you went in Zelda 1, Tim, you went up and talked. I never played Zelda 1 very much anyway. So
You're walking and they give you one line dialogue. There's like 10 lines the whole game.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Final Fantasy is even better than that until you get to combat. And then when you got to combat, you're like, when do I get to swing my sword? Like, this is stupid.
Yeah. Exactly.
But the problem is I was so hooked on the music, the characters, and the story by then that I was like, well, I'm going to keep going. And then, of course, it just gets better and better in terms of that, and you get used to the. And even today, though, I would argue that the turn-based stuff is stupid, which is why we've learned in Final Fantasy 16. Which we should, if there's I think there might be a new trailer for it we should watch. They got rid of it. It's not turn-based, Tim. Which I know is the newest one that's coming out this summer. Final Fantasy 16. Anyways, let's start it. And hope it works. Oh! Do you have Microsoft Net Framework Step 1 of 1 installed? Anyways, Tim, so why don't you tell everybody why Final Fantasy 2 is not called Final Fantasy 2 anymore? Get it out of your system.
Okay. Something was burning issue on my mind. Like, we gotta cover that. It's gonna be so it's such good dialogue. No, okay, this was my exposure or experience was we got Final Fantasy 1. I had Final Fantasy 1. I didn't play Dragon Warrior for like I played Final Fantasy 1, didn't understand how to play it until I was a little bit older, and then played through it when I was like 11. This was 91. Final Fantasy, or then the Super Nintendo was released. Zelda: Link to the Past came with it. I got that for Christmas when I got my console. You and I went to the drugstore. We rented it every other weekend, whatever. And then that was my experience.
Wait, you rented what?
Link to the Past.
I thought you owned it.
I rented it a lot before I got my Super Nintendo for Christmas with Link to the Past. But remember on the box of the Super Nintendo, they had pictures on the back showing this awesome the new graphics for this new console and it was like, oh my gosh. And Nintendo Power used to have pictures towards the end of the magazine showing the stupid Nintendo game maps and their stupid tricks for regular Nintendo. And then the back was like, by the way, here's what the new Zelda big images are going to look like. You're like, whoa, it's awesome. And then you started seeing, and I saw Final Fantasy 2, and the graphics was just the overworld stuff. I was like, this looks so freaking awesome. They're like him fighting imps or something. They didn't want to reveal anything cool. And then you're like, this looks so good. And then you got it, we played it, and then, like, whatever, 3-4 years later...
Wait, the first time I played Final Fantasy 2 wasn't with you.
No.
Oh, you're talking about Link to the Past.
Our friend Jesse.
Yeah.
We borrowed his copy, and you played it for a month, and when I borrowed it, and I played it for a month, and then you borrowed it. My brother got really far, and I could never beat it.
You know what the funny thing about it is I don't think... I mean, it's in the name. It's called Final Fantasy 2. But I don't think I ever actually thought, wait, is there a Final Fantasy 1? Like, I never, like, entered into my mind. Because back then, every game had, like, a 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. And the older ones, you didn't necessarily want to go back and play, because sometimes they really sucked. It's like, here's Space Invaders. And then you're like, this game sucks. And then there's Space Invaders 5. And you're like, oh, this game is awesome. But that Space Invaders 1 was terrible. Couldn't even save. So, like...
But when it came out, this is my thing. When Final Fantasy 2 came out, you know what I was like as a kid? I thought there was way too much reading.
Yeah.
And so,
I believe you.
Final Fantasy 1's like Zelda 2. You just walk around, people give you like little mini scrolls. Sometimes there's like a few boxes that the king's giving you a mission. You gotta read just a little bit. But like most of the game, you're just walking around doing stuff. And there wasn't much description in the actual combat. Final Fantasy 2 comes out, and you have this, like you said, a 20-minute...
Oh, yeah. Well, and...
reading all the story and his drama. He's like, oh, I'm so depressed as the Dark Knight and killing the people. It was like action-based. It was awesome. It was like an old 80s kind of a story, like an 80s fantasy story, like Red Sonja or something. It was cool. But then, like, that was a bad example, but you know what I mean. But then
Red
it's like,
Sonja.
okay, you get to
No,
play
it's
one,
true.
you get to-
There's definitely, and as I played through 1, 2, and 3 in order. Now this is 4. I talked about that in my last stream a little bit. That
the evolution.
there is an evolution. Like Final Fantasy 1 was a pretty all-around solid game with exceptions. Like it had, it didn't really guide you. It had some like, no matter what level you are. Well, that's not true, but until you get to really high levels, the enemies can one-shot you, kill you, no matter what, stuff like that. It was very frustrating. But overall, it was a pretty solid game. Then Final Fantasy II came out, and it was very, very deep story. It's one of the deepest Final Fantasy stories there is. They made a book off of it, and but it was hard to follow because it was just so complex, and the gameplay itself was pretty fun actually, I think, but gameplay wasn't the focus. Then Final Fantasy III came out, and its story was a lot like 4. The problem with Final Fantasy 3 is the gameplay was very, very like you have to grind so it wasn't very approachable for like normal players. So I would argue that Final Fantasy 4 was their first like masterpiece all around in terms of like gameplay, of story. It was like they finally had combined all those elements to a just cohesive game.
Right.
And that makes sense why in the US, I mean, I don't know exactly the history behind it. Maybe you can look it up while we play, Tim, but I can understand why Final Fantasy 2 and 3 were never released in the US. And that's why it was we grew up knowing it as Final Fantasy 2.
And okay, would you say that, do you think, as far as overall fun play, or the gameplay and the story, which I know you're not a huge fan of the story, but do you think Final Fantasy 1 overall for general Americans is a better choice than 2 or 3? Or do you think 2 or 3
for
would
sure.
have been picked up? Do you think so?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to answer the question, the Final Fantasy, sorry, A Link to the Past came out on November 21st, 1991 on the Super, and 2 days later, November 23rd, that's when Final Fantasy 2 came out. So,
well, when you say came out, though, is that in the U.S. or is that in?
Yeah, yes.
So in Japan, it was probably out for a lot longer, but
in July. It was out in July on the Super Nintendo in Japan.
Okay, there we go, Tim. Hold that thought. So I like that it actually has its configuration screen and stuff in the Pixel version in the actual game itself. Because the other one had it in like a separate window, and you set up your configuration, then loaded the game. This actually has it in the game itself, so that's a lot nicer. The other thing is this music, I think, is the orchestration version. I don't think it sounds to me like it's not the original music.
See, why do you want all that fancy stuff?
I like it.
Isn't
It's better.
It's I don't know. I think there's just something to playing this that old, that like whatever 8-bit whatever graphics and just the old soundboards and with the limitations that they had and having.
No, it's fun to listen. It's fun to listen to old MIDI music, and that's why.
Okay, wait.
That's why you need to play Theatrhythmics or whatever it's called, Final Fantasy Theatrhythmics. I haven't played that with you. I'm going to take it over to your house, Tim, and show it to you. I think you'll like it. There's a new Final Fantasy that just got released. It's a beat game where you have to push the buttons to a beat, and it has all of the Final Fantasy music from 1 all the way to 15. And it even has Mystic Quest. It has like a lot of the break-offs, and you can buy extra DLC for it. But you can sit there and enjoy your MIDI music till your heart's content.
I'm just saying, I think when I'm playing through a game, I like hearing the original music with it. Separately, like if I'm driving my car, that's when I can put in like the orchestra pieces and all that stuff. But I think that is cool. But
I like them both.
The graphics. But you also know me. I don't like updated graphics for these games.
Yes, I do know you on that. Tim stopped playing video games after 1990, basically.
Well, we just set or figured out that this came out after 1990, so let's suck on that.
Okay, 1992.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Right.
So just one more thing before I start. and I forgot what it is, so it must not be important.
Oh, but just finish what we're saying. Final Fantasy IV, we discovered years later that Final Fantasy II was actually Final Fantasy IV.
Oh yeah, back then, none of us knew it. It was
no
like
idea.
a decade later. It was a lot of years later.
Because we're like, what? We had 2 more of these games because they didn't come out very often. Final Fantasy III came out like years later, and it was awesome. We're like, what did we miss out on?
Yeah, well, I went back in the day. I was into the emulation scene, so I went and actually played through the old ones before they were actually officially released by Square, which later became Square Enix, and like the translations were terrible. There's actually a lot of jokes about that now and stuff, but it was fun, and I swear I cleared Final Fantasy 3, but I don't think I did, because when I played through it this time, I was like, wow, this is way hard, and I don't remember it being this hard. But anyway, here we go, Tim. Are you ready for this?
Yeah, I'm ready. By the way, 3 years later, Final Fantasy VI came out. Go ahead. Or, yeah, 6.
Man, it seems like longer than that, but when you're young, a year lasts a long time.
Yeah. I have a lag on my audio, so you'll be just if you describe what you're seeing, or if you're reading anything, it'll be
The Red Wings!
cool idea.
See,
and
when I saw this graphics, I was like, wow, this is awesome!
yeah,
Captain, we will arrive
They
at
are
Baron
awesome.
shortly. Very well, Cecil. Cecil. I guess it's read Cecil, Tim.
Cecil.
The captain seems kind of down. After what we did, who wouldn't be? I just love the story, Tim. You like start out as a bad guy. It's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Orders are orders, but killing innocent people to get the crystals isn't right. See, and that kind of thing was like unheard of. That's why Final Fantasy was so groundbreaking, because there were more. This wasn't young A fiction. This was adult fiction.
Yeah.
Like, you're killing innocent people. And yeah, it's pixels, but still story-wise, you're killing people.
It's still adult
In
content.
the very beginning, you don't get that out of Zelda.
Yeah. You don't have. Did you have any casualties in the 3 you just played? There's not.
Oh yeah, lots. Yeah. I mean, not lots, but yeah, you had
from your
casualties.
party members.
Yeah. Well, and people have said the reason 2 and 3 didn't come out in the States was because they had like moral things and like naked pixel things or something. I don't know that that's true, but maybe it is. And even if it is true, they could have edited it out like they did for some of the things in 2 and stuff.
Well, we're talking about this many pixels. I don't know if you'd really be able to tell anyway.
Yeah. The Red Wings are supposed to protect people, not harm them. Well, there were, when you're in a fight, you can actually see big blow-ups of the enemies you're fighting. Some of those had, like, I think it was Lilith.
Yeah.
Lilith was, like, nude, like, topless or whatever. That's enough. That's enough. But, Captain... See, I love how Cecil is just, like, totally lawful good, right? He starts out lawful good. He's like, we gotta do it, or not lawful good, but, like, lawful.
Yeah.
He's gotta obey the law, whether it's right or wrong, and you don't think about it. So, again, you establish in the beginning this moral conundrum. That kind of thing was unheard of in a video game. Surely you don't know what we've done. All of you listen well. The raid on Mysidio is imperative for Baron's prosperity. Why does this sound like America invading Afghanistan? The Mysidians know too much about the crystals. Their very possession of one is a threat to Baron. His Majesty ordered we obtain their crystal, and as soldiers of the Royal Air Force, we are sworn to obey. Captain! Monster sighted dead ahead! Prepare for battle. Wow, look at that.
At my time, in the actual game, when you come upon these bad guys, they kick your butt.
Yeah, and you don't get to, yeah, that's true. You don't get to control. That's why, in the beginning, I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know that it was the battle, the turn-based battle system.
Yeah.
Are you all right?
See, I was aware of
We've
that
got
because
more
I played
hostiles.
Final Fantasy 1.
See, they've changed the dialogue. I wonder if this is closer to the Japanese, though.
I don't like it. Okay.
Yep, see? Because they don't swear in the original one, I'm pretty sure. Damnation! This is probably closer, though, Tim, to the Japanese, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but you have some weird stuff that happens there. I don't like that combat fade. That little the drizzle of.
Yeah, that's new. Is everyone okay?
I remember his armor.
All accounted for, sir. We've been encountering more monsters than ever lately. They didn't change his armor.
No. I'm saying I remembered him having much more curvy helmet, and Kane's the one that had all the sharp edges on his armor.
There's no end to them. Could it be some kind of omen? Captain, we are now approaching Baron. Very well. Prepare for landing. So this is my favorite Final Fantasy of all of them. Although I don't think it's the best Final Fantasy. Especially with Final Fantasy VII Remake. But it's so nostalgic. Like you said, going over to Jesse's house, renting it for a weekend, getting as far as you could. It was just, well done. So the crystal is now ours. The Mysidians put up no resistance. In fact, they were completely defenseless. This is pity, I perceive.
We used to incorporate this, like these characters and stuff, in our Lego
Majesty
play. We
awaits.
used to play Legos.
Yeah. Well, I remember you built the Castle Baron. By the way, this exact castle is in Final Fantasy III.
Oh, really? Is it called Baron?
No, but like the design is almost exactly the same. There's 2 towers that you have to go up, and one of the towers has the girls, one of the main female protagonists lives in it, and then they have the back place where they pray for the whale to come out or whatever. If you excuse me, Captain, I must speak to His Majesty in private. Please wait here.
Just this stuff, like this guy, the guard, or Vagan having, being like not the Chamberlain, but like, just like having a captain of the guard. The part where you're in the inn later in the desert, and they come in the middle of the night and seize you, or they come in to arrest you, and you have different soldiers, you have generals and lieutenants. I was like, this having this medieval military with different levels of authority, I thought was so cool.
He clearly questions your authority. He does. Your counsel is well heeded by him. This also teaches you never, ever in a Final Fantasy game trust the counselor guy. Yeah. But so long as I obtain the crystal, Cecil's transgressions matter little. Send him in. Yes, Your Majesty. Captain, His Majesty summons you. I remember you had like the red cloaks and the blue cloaks. Lego guys out there. The King of Baron hails your return. May I have the crystal? Yes, Your Majesty. Hand it over the water crystal. It looks genuine to me, sire. It's beautiful to behold. You are dismissed, Cecil. I'll always say Cecil.
We were all into our pirate Legos, but after this game, I didn't build a pirate ship for years because those pieces were airships for a long time.
No, that's true. Your Majesty. Yes, this was the first game that I ever played that had airships.
So, so I was going to ask you about that.
Captain,
were the airships in 2 and 3, were they like boats with helicopter?
Yeah. In fact, 3 had helicopter blades on the top and the bottom. It had like one on the bottom and then one on the side to make it, or the back to make it go forward. It had thrust. It also had, again, a lot of Final Fantasy IV polished all the stuff in Final Fantasy III, but I didn't realize how much Final Fantasy IV drew from Final Fantasy III.
So Final Fantasy VI is the first one, or that's the one that has like the Zeppelin look. So what was?
There was a Zeppelin Wook in 3 too.
Oh really?
There was multiple airships in 3, and there was even an airship that comes out of the water. It becomes your big main airship.
I watched you play that. I watched you play. I was like, why do you have 5 airships? It's stupid.
Yeah, lots of
In
airships.
this game, it's cool because you have the land craft, which is awesome, and then you get the hook so you can move it later on. Then you get your airship. Then you have to build your heat-resistant airship.
No, they do the
Then
same
you
thing
fly
in
the
3.
whale.
Sid makes an. It doesn't really make sense story wise, but Sid in 3 makes like an airship that can bust through mountains because you can't fly high enough to go over, which is stupid if you think about it. But whatever.
Yeah.
You're-
That's one thing that I think is fun about specifically this game. They do such a good job of creating in the world building different ways of keeping you there's a word for this too, but keeping you in a restricted in your game that you can't
Yeah,
move around.
railroading.
Just open world. What's that?
Railroading.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I mean Zelda does it well too, but
It depends on the Zelda. But
Your
like this
Majesty,
one, it's
forgive
like,
me, but what
on
are your
foot.
intentions regarding the crystals? Oh, he's talking back to him. Hold on a sec. Hold that thought.
Okay.
That's I told you that was the problem with this game is you got to go through like all this dialogue before. My men are confused and displeased at their orders. And what of you? Do you question my command? No, I only ask. Silence! Do not think your treachery has slipped past me. I trusted you, Cecil, but you leave me no choice. I hereby relieve you of command of the Red Wings. Your Majesty. Gods! Now I charge you with another duty. Slay the phantom beast that plagues in Mist Valley, and deliver this bomb ring to the village of Mist.
Bomb ring.
Yeah, it's like,
Take this bomb ring and don't ask questions.
you leave tomorrow at first light.
First it was a package, and that made more sense because you're like, I don't know what's in there.
Your Majesty, I beg you to reconsider. Cecil has done no wrong. Look, it's Tim!
Armor kilt. That's awesome.
That's why I was. So I think this is the first game that has naming way in it, where you can change your names multiple times during the story. And I think the reason that's good is because in the beginning you don't know like who's who in a love interest, and sometimes like in 3 I had that problem.
You'll have a high school girlfriend that you'll name to the wrong girl.
Yeah, exactly. And she like goes with someone else, and you're like, no! Ah, Kane, if you are so concerned about your traitorous friend, you may accompany him. Exactly, I bet you that's the exact reason. Your Majesty. Now take the ring and be gone. No, I agree though. Calling it the bomb ring is stupid. I liked it better when. Your Majesty.
You're just delivering a package.
He didn't even push the other guy out the door. He just pushed him into the wall. I'm sorry, Kane. Once we've completed the mission, the king is bound to forgive us both. You'll command the Red Wings again in no time. Get some rest. Leave tomorrow's preparations to me. But the music in this game is awesome too. I just love every song.
There's a lot of good drums. Dun, 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 dun,
Switch
stuff.
party member. When do you switch party member?
You switch who's on top and bottom and stuff. What do you mean? You can change the order of who's in and out. Was this the first time you could do that? That's another question.
I still don't know what that is referring to. Oh, look, there's a mini map. I've heard rather disturbing rumors regarding the king lately. Wow, I don't know why you need a mini map, but okay. If you value your life, you best put king and country before anything else. No.
It's alright.
Now I can't see your face.
That's fine.
There.
Okay, no, that's my question. Could you change their orders, and did they have the front and back positions in the other
In
two
3,
games?
yeah. Yeah, I think they did in 2. What's
Did
wrong?
they have front and back attacks? They didn't
Sorry
have that in
to
Final
drag you
Fantasy
into
1.
this. Yeah, don't be
Where you
act out of my
Prince
own
are
free
attacking
will.
flanks.
Yeah, in fact, you become the Onion Knight, which is so overpowered. The Onion Knight is an interesting job because you see, it's really sucks up until level 92 out of 100, and then once you go from 92 to 100, it makes all of your stats 100% or 99 the max. All of your stats, every single one. So it's like really overpowered. I mastered the dark sword on His Majesty's orders, but it was to protect Baron, not to plunder. You're not to blame. I'm sure the king has his reasons. I envy you, Cain. I envy the path you chose. The path of darkness. I suppose I could have attained a higher rank had I become a Dark Knight. So actually, Cain didn't choose the path of darkness, though, even though he becomes a baddie for half the game. Spoiler alert! My father was a dragoon, but he passed away when I was still young. I felt that I could keep some sort of connection with him if I became a dragoon as well. I didn't mean to bore you with my stories.
Dialogue.
Anyway, I don't need your concern. I don't need your concern. Yeah, this is new. The only thing you should be concerned about is slaying that beast tomorrow. I don't want to be the only one pulling his weight. Ha ha, slug slug. I'll give as good as you, rest assured. That's more like it. We should get some sleep. We rise early tomorrow. Mist Valley is northwest of Barren. With you and our Commander King joining forces, nothing will be able to stop you. Give me an elixir. No elixir in that clock. Whatever others may say, I trust the king. His Majesty is acting very strange lately. Sometimes if I go back in the throne room.
Listen to all this insubordinate conversation right outside the throne room.
Yeah. The king is most displeased. He will not see you until you have delivered the bomb ring to the village of Mist. I do like the graphics though, and how they sort of updated them for. Yeah.
It doesn't look that different.
I'm on duty. Leave me alone. Well, if you look at the dialogue boxes, they're definitely like 1080p.
Oh yeah.
But the graphics themselves are not 1080p, whatever the resolution is.
Yeah.
I heard you acquired the crystal from Acidia. Oh, so I guess gossip gets around. You are free to take the items from the storage room to help you on your mission. Push the button on the wall. That's the other thing about Final Fantasy 3 is it doesn't do a lot of hand-holding, and there are some secret passages that you have to do, you have to find in order to clear the game. Whereas this one, there are secret passageways, but it only gives you like some extra bonus gear or whatever that you don't necessarily need.
Right. I hate one of the worst parts of this game is that tower towards the end of the game, like where you get Edge, and it's like the entire tower is nothing but freaking treasure chests and secret walls that you have to find the stupid map.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
And like,
But yeah, that one's optional.
Yeah. And the old TVs, you used to be able to turn your brightness.
Yeah.
Really bright.
It would show the passages. I didn't even know that. I thought that was just the way it was because I had such a crappy television.
Yeah.
I was like, how's that a secret? I can see it. It's right there.
Yeah,
Rosa.
I'm just gonna put that in the game for idiots.
Rosa became a white mage for you, Cecil, to help you in any way she could. That's why I love her. Please don't worry her too much. And this is the quintessential Final Fantasy girl, Rosa. She's a white mage, and she's a support character, and
Yeah, but her name's Rosa.
I'm currently studying this, not only for now, Tim. I'm currently studying this basic white magic. The 4 levels of cure spells are Cure, Cura, Curaga, and Karaja. So I think in the original Final Fantasy 2, they still had Cure 1, Cure 2, Cure 3, Cure 4.
Yes, they did. They didn't have 4. Did they have 4?
Yeah, they did. The king is pretty. You probably never got it because you never got up to level 60 or whatever it was that you had to get it.
No, because I don't think there was pure 4 in the. Oh, there was.
The king is brimming with vigor these days. I find it's somewhat out of character.
I remember playing Final Fantasy VI, and the first time I got Life 2, I'm like, what the crap? What is it? Like, what can we do besides bring you back to life?
Yeah.
And it, like, brought all your health. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I think there was one that, like, brought everyone back to life or something. So I was like, that's a little...
Cure, or Life 3. And then there was Life 4,
There was.
which you could cast on your guys, and if they died, they'd come back alive.
Yes, yeah, that was... I
Sleep!
thought that was 3.
Sweet dreams, pal! No, was it? You're not sleepy at all? See, I think this is a perfect example of where they refined the other Final Fantasies, because I think in either 2 or 3, there was a guy who was a black wizard, and he turns you into a frog or something.
That's in Mysteria.
Mysidia, that happens in Mysidia.
You're walking around and they're all screwing with you because they're pissed off at you.
Well, heck, what did I do wrong?
Tiny...
Leviosa. We're diligently working to develop more spells for actual combat. Basic spells like Fire and Blizzard aren't powerful enough to defeat many monsters, but I do seem to remember hearing about more potent spells. Dun, dun, dun. Baron's sacred treasures rest behind this wall, but access to that chamber is forbidden. Do you tell everyone that? Or only the Dark Knights? We have to pull another all-nighter today. I'm so tired. Oh, don't tell the boss that I was grousing. Have you seen Sid? He ordered us to service the airship, then just up and disappeared. Oops, what did you say? I think something is troubling him. Wow, look at the water. That's awesome.
That's different.
I like that. The water effects are cool. This tower is off limits because Rosa is in it and you haven't unlocked her yet. Or wait, no, Rosa's in the other one.
He's in the other tower.
That's where Sid is or something. Yeah.
That's for later on because they need to have a dungeon in there later.
Yeah, I thought Rosa had a house in the village. She just comes to visit you and you're...
Yeah, you're right. Her mom lives in the village. Something like that. And it's her mom.
All's well, sir. A foreboding air surrounds the castle as of late. Like, you leave tomorrow. Please get some rest, sir. We can't let you leave.
Yeah,
Nightfall is approaching, sir. Please remain inside the castle. I like you're talking railroading. Which is fine.
Yeah, I looked at that. But no, it's cool because first you go out on foot, then they have the earthquake.
Cecil.
Put you on the other side of the mountain. I'll let you read your romance.
Thank goodness you're all right. I was so worried. You left on such short notice. We're fine. I wish I could say the same for the Mysidians we slaughtered. Cecil. I'll come to see you later, okay? Very well. Yes, you will. That's awesome how she like stops and turns and looks at you.
So dramatic. Now you're about to run into Cess or Sid.
This is the prison. We've locked up the Mysidian mages who opposed us, sir. The ones we didn't kill. You can talk to them through the bars. You won't get away with this, you hear me? I did not expect you to spare us, but please return the crystal to Mysidia. You idiots don't know anything. The crystal isn't just any old jewel. Yeah, I don't know what the purpose of the mini-map is.
I was just gonna say, it's really accurate. Like, it's really... really...
Like, I sort of want to turn it off. Because, like, why? I think the only reason they put it in is so that...
For the map, or for the dungeons.
Even then, like, well, I've played this game so many times I basically have them memorized, but... There's got to be a way to turn it off, though. Yeah, I want active. Battle speed fast. It's fast. Very fast. Battle message fast. So this is the problem with the battle messages. In the old game, it wouldn't wait until you push the button. And if you turn it on very fast, it would like be blue and you wouldn't see it. And you wouldn't get the dialogue. So I'm curious if that's the way it is. I'm going to leave it as normal for now until I find out.
Do that for the end results. If you won a battle,
yeah,
you wouldn't see what your reward was, or if you picked up treasure or an item, it would just disappear.
What does continue auto battle mean? Oh, it's probably you can set auto battle, and then if you start a new fight, it'll continue. Oh, a graphic display.
However you're fighting, you don't have to reset the first round of each battle. You don't have to set it up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Classic. I don't. Oh, it's got lines in it on the classic. It's got like scan lines or something. Brightness. Oh, here's your brightness, so you can't cheat, Tim. Master volume, background volume, sound effects, gamepad, keyboard. So that's what I was saying is we probably could play it together because one person could be playing on the gamepad while the other is playing on the keyboard. But yeah.
Yeah, as I thought about it, I don't like that. I would hold it. I would cause problems when you get to the end of the game.
Exactly. Well, that's how we played it. Me and Matthew cleared this together. I don't know if it was the first time, but one of the time it was the first time, and you could control everything with both controllers on the SNES.
Final Fantasy 3/6 came out, and then you could assign your characters to which controller. That sucked because if the other person wasn't paying attention, it was their turn, and you're on active battle. Your guys are getting like destroyed while they're like, "Man, hurry, push the button!" Yeah.
It doesn't allow you to turn the stupid. I mean, it's not stupid, but it doesn't allow you to turn the mini map off.
Ignore it. It's not a big deal.
I don't think this has a front and back, which is interesting, since Final Fantasy II did.
I don't think it. Oh, it did. I know 3 does. Or sorry, 6 does. I don't remember that being a thing in this one either. I know you could change their order because I'd always.
Well, and the other thing that was cool about this game, for me, was the ability to have more than one character. Because Zelda's just Zelda, right? Or Link. Yeah. And I mean, you did get Zelda for a while, but she just follow you around or whatever.
You have several people that follow you, but no one did combat.
Yeah.
And Dragon Warrior was a one-party game. Final Fantasy was 4, but you didn't do anything else. That's the other question. In 2 and 3, how big was your party? Was it always just 3 or 4 people?
4. It was always 4.
So this is the first time you had 5.
Yeah.
And then 6, they went back.
Well, look who's back. Rosa was worried sick about you. So Sid is not Rosa's dad in this, right? But he's just her mentor or something.
Yeah. No.
Her guardian.
No, you're thinking of 6.
Don't you ever do that to her again, you hear? So how are my airships? I bet you and your goons wrecked them up something awful. This is my favorite Sid out of all the Final Fantasies.
Yeah.
Hey, what's the matter with you, kiddo? Although he's very similar in 3. And 2.
What do you mean 3? 3 real? Actual 3?
Yeah. Is he in 1?
No, he's not in 1.
Well.
He's kind of weird in 6 because he's like he has this like raincoat. He's like this scientist instead of like an engineer, which is fine. But he's just all about the magicite stuff. That's what his main job is.
Yeah. What?
He's not like,
the king demoted you? What about the Red Wings? They'll be a mess without you. Come to think of it, the king's been acting peculiar for some time. His Majesty ordered me to build an airship for killing people. Everyone's worried about him. Anyway, be careful out there. Make short work of that mission and get back safe. I love it. It's just funny, like, having lived the years we have and gone through the Iraq and Afghanistan war and everything, we're like, and then watching this, we're like it never clicked with them that they were killing people, but it's the same with us. It's like, oh, we killed some more people today. Oh, that's nice. Well, it's for the greater good.
Yeah,
Whoa. I have to start heading home. My daughter will kill me if I'm not back soon. He said daughter there.
It must be Rose. I think it is because in Final Fantasy VI, he kind of adopts and takes care of what's her name, my girlfriend.
That's the problem with this game I have, is I don't know the official names because...
You always change them.
Yeah.
I
wonder-
get the ninjas mixed up.
I think you
never
can...
remember Edge.
I hope you can change it in this.
Yeah.
I've changed your seat, sir. I hear you depart early tomorrow morning. Good night.
I think he's in town. I think that's the first time you meet the name anyway.
Okay, here comes the best cutscene ever, Tim.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Rest?
Best cutscene ever is in 6.
No,
I was
that's
gonna think
true.
Which one it is?
The opera.
Yeah, that's it.
What's happened to the king? He covets the crystals as those he's possessed, and it seems to resort to any means to get them. Nevertheless, I can't defy him. I don't think nevertheless was in the first one.
No.
That was like too long of a word. How could I cross the man who raised Cain and me like his very own? The chivalrous knight who I've adored and admired since childhood. I will not betray him. I can't. Cecil! What's going on? You just returned from a city and now you must journey afar to battle some phantom beast. It's all too sudden. Everything's fine. Cold shoulder. Cecil, look at me. Rosa's theme is one of the best songs of all video game history, Tim. In Mysidia, we killed innocent people to steal their crystal. It was horrible. But I suppose this is my fate as a Dark Knight. Soon I won't even feel remorse for my actions. Like sleeping in full plate armor in your bed. You and I both know that will never happen. Still, I can't defy the king. I'm a hopeless coward. The Cecil I know would never talk like this. Oh, never whimper like this. That was the original line. The Cecil I love. You leave first. So that's how we always, in this game, we knew who the love interest was immediately, so it was easy to name. You leave for Mist early tomorrow, right? Yes, but don't worry. So either he does sleep in full armor, or when he got out of bed, he's naked. Yes, but don't worry. Kane's coming too. I'll be fine. Trust me.
He's naked.
Please come back to me in one piece.
He has plenty of room right there for a double-sized bed, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Thank you, Rosa.
She can't stay with him, especially in his armor.
Though it's a dark night, you know we can never truly be together. Okay, bad man. Here it is. This is the intro credits. So are you ready for some real combat? Always. Lead the way. Dun, 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 dun.
Kane's so awesome. Kane and Locke are my two favorite protagonists.
Did you say Locke? Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you don't think he's a hero, but he's just a thief. And so the Dark Knight Cecil was stripped of his command as captain of the Red Wings. By the way, did they do this in other games besides the first one?
And the Master Dragon Kane head for the Foggy Valley and the village of Mist. I think so. I don't know though. That's the problem, is because I didn't play the originals. I played the 3D version of 3.
Yeah, but even the remakes of the first game, they did it.
The event of the airship marked the realization of Baron's dreams, but also the birth of its militarism. And with its Royal Air Force, the Red Wings, Baron soon reigned supreme. Now, as monsters multiply and stir unrest, Baron only exploits its power to collect the world's crystals. Why? Look, the two moons.
They need to tighten this up like the Star Wars opening crawl.
Yeah. It's like enter. The crystals merely shed their light in silence. Unlike other crystals that speak.
There's 2 moons. Don't they address the second moon?
Yeah.
Like one small? Because you go to one moon, but you don't go to the other moon.
You go to the guy who's like an astrologer, and you look through the telescope, and you can see both moons in there.
It says one of them you can see the creatures on them and stuff.
And I don't know where I got this, but I swear that you could go to both the moons.
Nope. You know why you thought that? Because there's 2. It's almost like there's 2 spots. They're like completely cut off. Once you land on the moon, you cannot walk to any of the caves. You have to get up in your ship and move to a different spot and walk around the different terrain. Like there's kind of 2 landing zones.
Okay, so somehow I can go into auto combat. Oh, that's cool. That it shows how much. I'll show you in a second when I get in another battle, but it shows you how much XP you have left until your next level on the end screen.
Did you just move diagonally?
Yes.
That wasn't in the original.
Okay, there's got to be one of these buttons got to put me in. There it is, auto combat. See right there, next level in 309.96.
That's nice. So you don't have to keep pausing.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. It's like, let's see how.
When you're grinding.
Chocobos! So this is the way I always play this game. Is I just get a level. Anytime I go to a new map, I just get a level.
Yeah, I just beef up like 10 levels. Like.
Oh, I know. And actually, that's why I'm saying you should play Final Fantasy 3 because. No. Did you walk across the river with the chocobo before? I don't know because I never got a chocobo.
Yes, you could. I'm telling you, you could. No, I want to break down. They so you start here on foot. You go through the cave and you come out the valley by the town. And then she creates the earthquake, spoilers, and then you're on the other side of the mountain ridge, so now you have to explore north, and then you go to the desert. And then you get the land speeder from Tatooine, and then you can fly around, and then you have all this continent that has the shallow rocks, so you can go to different parts of the map. And then you go up over the mountain on the north to the other continent, but you leave your boat, your land speeder behind. That's where you're down to Mysidia, right? Get on the oh no, and then they have the super bridge or the magic bridge between Bannon and Mysidia, which I don't know why you didn't take that to attack them instead of flying the ship. And then what?
Well, he took the ship away from you.
Well, I know. I meant during the attack.
Oh, I forgot to go to the village.
Wait, when do you get Yang up in the mountains? How do you get
Yang
to Mysidia? Huh?
How do you get to Mysidia? You go through the cave.
From where?
From Baron.
When is the shipwreck where Leviathan attacks? Is that how you get to
Mysidia? That's I don't know.
You wash up on shore, right?
You're too far ahead in the story, too.
No, I'm not. I don't remember what happens.
So there's an earthquake that separates you after you attack Mysidia.
Yeah, then you go north, help Rosa. You go.
No, you meet Edward.
Yes, and his.
Oh yeah, and then you help Rosa with the antlion.
Yeah.
Eggs, and then.
You have them, and you go to the mountain to the
and
north,
then
and you come out the other side.
And then you. Well, I don't know why we're breaking. Spoiler alert.
Well, no. Well, yeah.
If you're journeying far, you mustn't forget to take potions, antidotes, and tents along. It says antidotes, Tim, but it should say antidotes.
I see that. No, I'm trying to break down the railroading because I think it's really well done. But I'm trying to remember, once you come down the other side of the mountain with Yang, how do you get to Mysidia? Do you take the ship and it gets shipwrecked? That's what I remember.
Wow, you could buy Phoenix Downs right out of the gate here. You couldn't buy them in 3.
I'm pretty sure you could.
Not well, you don't. When I say 3, I mean the real 3, Tim. No one uses the old ways.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the original game on the Super Nintendo.
So there is like slight changes in the graphics that you can tell, like the water, obviously. That water is freaking awesome, by the way.
Those people look different.
Hey, are you a bad guy? You should look like one. I remember this girl. And you can read the poster, dances wanted, looking for limber talented dancers. Limber. Interesting party to apply within the management. I don't really see that wasn't within the original, too.
Yeah.
No. I have my own bed. Can you go back to the castle and sleep?
No. When you go in, if you try to go in, they're like, "Oh, aren't you supposed to be on a mission?"
Secret!
Like that.
I'm gonna steal your secret end things. Dwarven bread. What does dwarven bread do? Bread with the same effect as sight. Well, then just call it eye drops. Oh no, sight is shows you enemy stats, I think.
Yeah.
So Cecil of the Red Wings. I haven't done anything wrong. I'm a good citizen. I pay my taxes.
See, I like all that. I remember the kid playing through this and thinking that stuff was so cool.
It is.
It just made
It
you really
establishes
feel
like
part of
who
the
you
world.
are.
Yeah, his character.
You pay, but you're a dark knight. I cannot take money from someone of your status. So it establishes that some people really respect you.
Yeah.
Others fear you. Others hate you, like the little girl. But she's too secretly. Probably everyone hates you, but they can't
Right.
They don't dare say anything except the little girl.
It's like the cartoon of Robin Hood, right? You have like the little kid rabbit, and he's like, "I don't care about the sheriff," and then you have the mom like, "Don't freaking hurt us." And then you have Robin coming in, and they have some people are like in the middle there.
Stay away from Mist. Leave the village alone, or something bad will happen. I know it. Excuse me. The door is locked. You can't buy weapons and armor. The Devil's Road. The Devil's Road leads to Mysidia, but has remained closed since the Mysidians sealed therein. Baron once actively traded with Mysidia via this path, but it is no longer in use. The stairs over there lead to the trading room. Ah, here it is, naming way. There he is, in all his glory. Do you wish to change your name? Yes. Okay. Taran? You have to use the keyboard, apparently. Yo-yo. Yippee. What do you think about the game so far, Yo-Yo? Or not Yo-Yo. Kiwi, 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 kiwi. Taran. Of course. And who do you want to be, Tim? I made Matt Kane, but you can be Kane if you want to.
I'm Kane.
Alright.
Kane's badass.
Tim. I'm not calling V Darkstrider.
No.
Tim.
I like Kane, actually. Leave him Kane, but that's me. Just do Darkstrider.
No, Tim.
Don't
I'm
name
not
him Tim.
naming him Darkstrider. Yep, Tim.
Don't name him Tim. That's stupid.
You got Tim or Timothy. Those are your choices.
Then then name him Legion. That's my other name.
No, Tim.
Why? It's not in Tim. Why don't you name yours Lance?
I don't mind.
Fine. You be Lancelot, and I'll be Timotheus.
The man next to you is naming way. Talk to him if ever you want to change your name because you put the wrong love interest with the wrong person.
He has like a French beret.
Yeah, unfortunately. It's funny because back then, like, you would name it after all the girls that you were. But now I'm married, like, so Rosa's definitely got to be Vicky now. It can't be my original.
I know who it is.
And some of the girls that you liked are now married too, Tim. So you can't.
I still name them.
Caverns contain save points. Use them wisely. Meta. Must make quick decisions battle. Try slowing down the battle speed if you're still a beginner. That's for you, Tim. If you select active battle mode in the configuration menu, monsters will attack even while you're choosing items or magic. I think this is the first game that did that. I'm trying to remember. I think it is. Change your formation by moving characters with low stab into the back row. So it does have a back row. Press right on the commands menus during battle and select row to switch between the front and back rows or defend to protect yourself. In order to use a weapon in your inventory as an item during battle, scroll to the top of the items list and select the weapon you want to use. You can switch weapons by opening the items list and pressing the change equipment button. Oh, should I try the hack in this one? Where you kill your own guys to get level ups? If your inventory gets full, talk to Fat Chocobo in any Chocobo forest. He will hold on to your items for you. I was talking about that in Final Fantasy 3. Fat Chocobo is the most useless thing in this game. I don't understand why you would ever want to use it.
Because it gives you like 1,000,000 slots in the first place.
Well, that's not true. I actually did start using Fat Chocobo because there comes certain points in a lot of these games where you have so much money that you don't need to worry about money anymore. But you just got so many junk items. And you're afraid to sell them because you never know, right? And you never know when you can throw them.
Because you think you're going to need, you think you're going to get this awesome boss battle and you're going to be desperate enough to be throwing like your dark sword at people.
Yeah.
We have like 1,000,000 shurikens that you'll never use.
So I think they realized that and they give you Fat Chocobo so you don't have to go up your items, just give them to Fat Chocobo and so they don't clutter your inventory.
Yes, and this was the first time that you could sort your inventory. I hated Final Fantasy. I don't know if it's the first
3 can, at
you
least.
couldn't in Final Fantasy 1. Final Fantasy 1 was a nightmare with your inventory.
Inventory management.
Not just the slots, that's not what I mean, but I'm talking about just having your item list that you have like your quest items and then your heals and potions and crap. Like, if you ran out of something, it would go to the bottom of the list underneath all your crap that you have the entire game. And so you always had to like memorize how like push over down to access it. And so ridiculous.
The king is gravely mistaken in ordering his men to master the dark sword.
That's why in Final Fantasy 1 I always bought a tonic. Oh, they weren't called tonics; they're cures. No, heals. They're heals.
Sid's house.
And then I would never use it. Oh, his wife's here, huh?
The history of shipbuilding. That entire shelf is the history of and the birds of the world. Oh, can you touch the fire? Ow, ow, ow! That's the best thing. Principles of buoyancy. Sid sleeping in the middle of the day. This is how you take a build a new engine. Foreshadows. Taryn, can you tell my father to stop pulling all-nighters? So no, that's not Rosa though. So he has a daughter, but that's not Rosa.
Yeah, it's not Rosa.
Tiredness makes him so confrontational. He won't even listen to me anymore.
Rosa has a house here though.
What's more, he's been arguing a lot with the townspeople because they badmouth the king and the soldiers. He's trying to stick up for you and Tim, you know. Haha, finally our names are right, Tim.
What does the last bookshelf say?
It was like buoyancy or something. No, this one's buoyancy.
No, that was the second to last.
It doesn't say anything.
I gotta know what they say.
It doesn't say anything. It's all about things related to airships, though. It doesn't say anything.
Why did they mess that up? Oh, look at your mini map. Has like the icons just so you know where the stores are. That's good.
Yeah, that's sort of cool. Just think about Dark Knights gives me the heebie-jeebies, but they're still pretty cool. Oh, here it is, Tim! No, I didn't spread any rumors about the king. Really?
Oh, these don't get good till later.
Say, I'll show you something neat if you promise not to get me in trouble. This is where... This was blocked in the original in Final Fantasy 2.
What do you mean?
Cause look, she throws her clothes off.
Oh, you're saying it was censored.
Yeah.
I was like, she did dance. I remember she danced all the time.
Hubba hubba.
And then like that one, all of a sudden that like they put you in a chair and like 100 girls come in. From
Yeah.
You're like, wow.
It's like the strip club. Fountain. I love that water though. The water effect is in this one is awesome.
Yeah, it stands out.
It's not that bad.
It's kind of like the fire in World of Warcraft that I never noticed until you pointed that out.
Yeah.
It always bugged me since. I never noticed that.
Oh, it's like super hyper realistic water. It doesn't fit with the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
or fire.
Fire.
It's empty. Thank you. Okay, I had to go and get because I never used darkness before. But I'm using it this time, and it's powerful. But you gotta have potions.
Now the other difference in this is the.
Oh wow! I'm freaking keeping my trash. I get a level up, and I did.
In this one, you actually move over to hit them. You're on the same screen instead of two different windows like you were in the first game.
Yeah.
Or all the other ones like that.
I don't know because again, I played the remake of 2. I think no, it wasn't. But look how it shows you like how your stats actually go up. That's cool.
That's really cool.
Because you don't really think about that most of the time.
Yeah. All you do is you check your new hit point level.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so much stronger health.
Man, I just ate a really nappy egg. A rotten egg. Well, I already need...
From your bird cage?
No. Yeah. Are you sure I can't go back? I'm gonna try it.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, don't say I didn't warn you.
Reasons. No, you should for story reasons. Because you also
The
have
king
a secret
forbids you
door
from
on this
entering the
side.
castle until you've delivered the bomb to the village in mist. Yeah, I don't think you can get to that. No, you can't.
No,
I'm
you
afraid.
can't. But you can go. But you can go acknowledge it. It's foreshadowing.
All right, you sleep in the same bed as me, Kate. Apparently, or Tim. What's the first Final Fantasy that they had where they actually sleep in separate beds?
I think Mystic Quest. No, Mystic Quest didn't do that. Mystic Quest, it was Final Fantasy VI then, that I know of. Mystic Quest was you get in by yourself and you get out and you do your morning stretches.
Yeah. It was very cartoony. I love
Yeah.
Mystic Quest though.
It's a fun little game.
What was I gonna check? Okay. I don't think Kane is leveled up yet, so we gotta just keep leveling him.
I always used to get mad because I thought if he was off the window in his jump at the end of the battle, he didn't get experience. I'm like, that sucks.
Oh, I need to. That's what I need to test out is the if you kill your own guys, if you get if you can level that way. When I discovered that, it broke like the first few Final Fantasies. It broke 2 because I think you can do that too.
That's a pussy move.
It's all about strategy, Tim.
Yeah, but that's a pussy move. What I will do is attack my own guys and kill them, so there's just whoever I'm grinding, only he is fighting. So he gets all the experience. That's one way I do it.
There, you got a level Tim. And you up the exact same stats as Cecil. Although his are slightly higher, I've noticed. I'm gonna go sleep in the end anyway.
Other than the sequel to this game, did they ever bring back Dragoons?
Yeah, in fact, Dragoons were before this game in Final Fantasy 3.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's the first. I'd have to go back and research because I can't remember, but it was definitely in 3. In fact, all of the jobs that are in this game, including Tella, who was like a mage, were established in 3. That's why 3 is so famous because of its jobs, and that's what I was saying is you would like Final Fantasy 3 because you can level up every single job that you have in the very first overworld without worrying about XP. Because the way jobs work is you basically, every action you take in a fight, it gives you a point. And then once your points accumulate, they level up. So it doesn't matter what level you are. And if you want to grind, at the end, it gives you like rewards for reaching level 99 in a job. Not regular level, just job level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can change order,
Yeah, they said that earlier.
which I should change Tim's order because you're Dragoon and you jump, so it doesn't matter if you're in the back.
Are you sure?
Yep. Okay, I'm gonna save. I'm gonna try it out.
You know what else I like about this game? As I'm looking at some of the art and the different versions they've had, some of them are way more realistic and all like animation kind of look, and other ones are like super goofy and cartoony. And the way the tone and the story is and the way the characters interact in this game, either of those extremes work. You can make this a really kiddie game, or you can make it a really dark and serious game, and they're both good.
Oh crap.
I don't know if that's necessarily the case with the other ones as well.
Did that give me XP? It won't. When you attack your own guys, it like does hardly any damage. It does 1 damage. So they blocked it.
Get killed. You gotta let them die from the natural consequences of battle.
They blocked the hack, Tim.
Do you understand what I'm saying with the tone of the characters, though, of the story? I think that works in this game. I don't think because the characters act like cartoon characters more so than like in 7 or 6.
Okay,
Oh, wow.
the cave. Wow, look at the mist.
Someone made some really cool Warhammer of Cecil and Kane. That's freaking awesome. I'll send this to you. Or maybe I can show it on screen right.
I love the music in this. Oh no, back attack! Man, I hated back attacks in the last game. They were such a pain. Because you would be level 99 and you'd still get a back attack, and it was just annoying. Turn back. What? Who's there? It seems like the screen is further back too, so that you can see more of the dungeon.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Because I don't remember being able to see that if you go up here, it's a dead end. Which is convenient, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to do a side-by-side comparison. That's the thing I don't like about the balance, though. So they give you that darkness that takes away your hit points. But it's not worth it because it just takes away too many, so you don't use it. He's alright. I got so many tins. You should always have 10 tints, Tim. 10 tints, Tim.
My thing with tents and life potions, I always buy, every time I go back to the town, I buy 5. Because I don't use that much, but when I'm grinding. And that way I always have a lot. Especially when you have, like Final Fantasy 1, where you have houses and cabins and they're super expensive. I don't sit there and just buy a whole bunch. I always buy like 5 and 5 every time I go to town. I always have plenty by the end of the day. I always have maxed out.
So you don't keep it at 10, you just always accumulate.
Yes. Because I don't use that many as I fight and grind. I don't use that many cabins and houses.
Oh,
So,
Kane's about to get his level up. And Cecil is below 100, so I better use...
Especially in these modern pussy versions, because I don't need... Because they give you
crap.
infinite magic.
Just wasted potions. Because there's a
And
delay.
they give you Phoenix down from like the very beginning of the game.
Leave at once. Read your dialogue, Tim.
Oh, hang on. I thought you had been reading it. I was like, I want to read
I had, but that's until they changed your name.
But yeah. Well, I have a delay. Just read it. I can't.
You read it.
I can't. You're gonna hold it on the screen. Could that be the Phantom Beast of Mist Valley?
It's not that big of a delay.
Okay, I'm waiting. It's still, that's what it says on my screen. Still.
Knights of Baron. Read it, Tim.
I don't have it yet. It's still Baron. Who are you?
Leave now or suffer the consequences.
Fortunately, Kane's not.
Read it, Tim.
It's not here. I will read it when it comes up. Show yourself.
You choose to ignore my warnings? Yes. We have to get to Mist. We're not turning back. So be it.
It gives you a choice. That's the mist monster, right?
Yeah, you gotta read your dialogue, Tim.
The mist is gathering. Lance, if I'm not reading it, that means it's not up
Right?
Oh, it's right here.
The music
Oh, that
changes.
was cool. I like that little light that just streaks across the screen.
The music is updated, definitely. Oh, don't attack him! Take it off, man! Oh, no! No. How do you defend? There we go.
See, I always fight it, even when it's in those forms.
I know! You get your butt kicked.
No, I do that on purpose because you have to, like, in the story,
You know
you
those
have to, like,
railroad
you have to
tracks that get you
make the mistake.
I made my own streaming.
You know
One of
those
the greatest
railroad
games of
tracks?
all times.
You know those railroad tracks that you gave to Trina?
Yeah.
She needs them.
Oh crap!
Where are they?
He's gonna jump it.
Where are they?
And now we're...
I
Oh,
don't know.
she needs him right now.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta pause, Tim.
I'm not.
Are they in your car?
Enemy, target enemy, all single... Okay, so left trigger, right trigger just targets all, I think. If you're like healing or... Hold on, I gotta get these Legos. Okay. Let's do it, baby! soon as I figure out how to. Okay. The mist will retaliate if attack. Attack when the dragon appears. Yeah, so you do have to leave. It does automatically do the dialogue. Which is dumb. I don't like that.
What do you mean automatic dialogue?
The battle dialogue. They should just make it so you have to push the button to make it progress. Otherwise, if you put the dialogue on fast, it'll skip it. Or it will go too fast for you to be able to read. Oh no! Don't put it on my camera, put it on you, Tim.
I'm playing with it.
Attacking the mist is futile. The mist will retaliate if attacked. You idiot. Attack when the dragon's like... I told you the first time. You don't understand. Attack now! Who's talking? That's your inner conscience. I'm not gonna jump, Tim. It's too dangerous.
Right.
Oh, you suck if you don't jump, though. That's interesting. I don't remember you sucking that bad if you didn't jump before.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Oops, I'm supposed to jump. It doesn't do very much damage to you, though, unless it's using mist. Wow, every pixel disappears. That's a new effect, I think. Why did you get a level up before me?
Because I'm awesome.
Yeah, that map is like, it's almost like the graphics in the mini-map are better than the actual graphics. They're like higher resolution for sure. Alright, let's see it, Tim. That was pretty cool. Are you sure that's Warhammer, though?
No, I don't know. That's what it says, though. It says...
Oh yeah, it's like a custom fig. Looks like they took parts off from other pieces.
It's right here.
That is pretty cool.
Except Kane has, well, yeah. Oh, I guess Kane has a lance. I was like, why does he have a flag? He probably has a lance with a banner on it.
I think I can do better. Challenge accepted.
What about this? Can you beat this? Crap.
Yeah, but those aren't. I don't think those are 35 millimeter. Maybe they are. No, that's pretty good.
I think they look dumb. Like, what is it? Is that a Warhammer kind of a thing?
That looks like the actual.
The art. The concept art.
Yeah. That looks like the 3DS version.
Yeah, this stuff though. Seriously. Where'd it go? Not this stuff. Like the art that they could do. You have a delay on my screen, sorry. They just have some cool stuff that we're in this world. Like, it's just awesome. Anyway, you can go back to your game.
We're about to attack the village of Mist. You better pay attention, Tim. I don't know why I'm saving, because I already know what's going to happen, but... and I'm not going to use a tent.
I'm about to leave the parrot part. Oh, sorry, spoilers.
Yeah, the music is like... I think it's original, though. Like, this doesn't just sound like the orchestration. It sounds like they're, like, remixed it for this version.
Digital. Yeah.
And it's still like MIDI. I don't think it's orchestration, but it is remixed. The ring is glowing. You mean the bomb ring?
Yeah, that was a package, and it's like the package is opening by itself. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's cool. Then you release these guys, and then when you finally fight those guys, they're not that destructive.
Yeah. Well, you're
Until-
lying, Tim.
I don't have it yet, Lance. I'm watching it. What the?
That's why I gotta use Facebook, Tim.
No, the stream would still be on delay from the live. That's how long it takes to go to Twitch and then Twitch
This?
to shoot it to my computer.
This is why Sin is here? Okay, well, after you do your voice, then, Tim.
We've destroyed the entire village.
Why
That's
would you
he
make
said
us
to
do
zero
this?
the bomb ring? What did you think you were gonna do?
No, mommy!
By the way, Rydia and Terra are like the same character.
Yeah, that's true. My mom's dragon died, and they're both summoners. And because of that, my mom died too. What? Wait for it, wait for it.
I've heard of people with power to call forth monsters. But this is ridiculous. Is that what it says?
No.
Oh, summoners, they're called.
Then we're responsible for killing her mother by killing the dragon.
How come she's bigger than her mother?
Yeah. You killed my mom's dragon! We didn't know that would happen. So that was the king's plan to annihilate every summoner in
Awesome
this
dialogue
village?
right there.
That
So what
can't
was
be.
the king's plan? To annihilate every summoner in this village? Did you read my line?
Yep.
Stop it. I'm afraid it's true. I'm also afraid we're going to have to get rid of the girl.
Stupid Tim. What?
I'm just waiting for a dramatic attention. That's what the king would expect. It's her or us.
But she's just a child.
But look at her hair.
It's green. She's one of those liberals.
You intend to defy the king?
I refuse to carry out any more slaughter in the king's name.
Let me think about that. I knew you'd say that. Don't worry, I'm on your side.
For now.
What does that mean?
You are?
As you're pushing me around. I owe the king so much, but I can't disgrace the dragoons.
So you'll join me. He's like already got a plan in his mind for a coup.
Yes, but we'll need the support of other nations if we're supposed to.
It's like,
I already have this. I have
Yeah,
this
it's
declaration filled
sort
out
of-
and everything.
yeah, it's sort of odd, Kane, that you.
I've been thinking about this for some. Where do you think I went last night? I didn't go to bed. But we'll need the support of other nations if we're opposed to the mightiest kingdom in the land.
I made this map. You started.
We have the wussy bard to the north, and we have the lame wizards to the west, and we have to get Rosa out of Baron.
Here it comes. You're crushing on my Rosa.
Yeah, I will more when she has a better name.
Thank you, Tim.
We freaking change my name next time.
Nope. I don't think you see. Well, you can always go back to Baron and talk to Namingway, but I think he
Yeah.
appears in another village later on.
He's in every village.
Is he?
Yes.
I forgot.
He's like Waldo. He like appears like you have to find him in every town. I'm not kidding. He's literally in every village, every town. Oh, save it. This isn't for your sake. It's for
It's for
hers.
Rosa.
I mean, for the dragoons. I mean, yeah. Dot dot dot. This place is dangerous. We better get going. So what about the girl?
We can't leave her. We'll have to take her with us. Come here, you little runt. It's all right. We won't hurt you. But you're going to have to come with us, okay? Nah. This is totally how you would deal with children too, Tim.
Come on, we have to go now.
No, go away.
Hang on. Look at the helmet on the side of his face. It has like the eyes. It's like red and everything. That looks so good.
Like a dragon.
Yeah, it's so cool. And it has a little tail. The way the fins come out the back, the tails. Wait. Oh,
That's
you.
me. Wait. I hate you. You killed my mom. Well, that's a good reason to hate us.
Terrible dialogue.
Well, I can't attack her. She's a little girl.
I know, but it's still terrible dialogue.
No, I mean, I'm not going to actually attack. Douche.
Oh. See, look at his armor. Look at his helmet there.
Yeah, the particle effects have improved.
Ooh. Looks so cool. But again, that's not to say
Oof. Oof.
that was a lot more. Remember the old map? It just used to be big circular clouds, the old effects, and you just couldn't really see what was going on.
She's safe, thank goodness. Damn. Damn.
What?
I have to get her out of here. Tim, I pray that you're alive. See? He prays, Tim. To
No,
what?
it's a religious game.
Yep. I got an achievement. Inflammatory decisions. Okay. I think we'll probably end it there.
That was an awful fun.
Yes, it was. I am going to use darkness now, though.
I like darkness. And that's another thing. They didn't really have these kind of abilities that went along with the character. Now that's the other question. The other games, did they have unique abilities like summon? And...
No, this was... So again, the other ones, I think without exception... Did Final Fantasy 1 allow you to change jobs? It did. Yeah, because you could be all black mages and all that. That's one of the challenges.
You choose your professions in the beginning, but you don't.
Yeah, in this one you don't do that. And that's the way. Did this game come out before Dragon Warrior 1 did? Or 2? Which one was the Dragon Warrior where you could...
I only played Dragon Warrior 2.
Where it allowed you to change the Dragon Warrior.
Not in the one I played. I played the one on the Nintendo.
I can't remember 1, but at least in 2. I don't know, I can't remember.
Was it on the SNES?
Dragon Warrior?
Yeah, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, it was SNES, I'm pretty sure.
I don't see a Dragon Warrior on SNES. Dragon Quest, did they change the name?
Yeah, they changed the name.
Oh.
It was originally Dragon Quest.
So Dragon Quest was on the SNES, but not... It was Dragon Warrior on the NES.
You can put eyes in, I can't see now. Stupid moth. It's the first time I've ever used a potion this early in the game. Like a eye drop potion.
So... Here, I'll put it on my screen. This is the one I played. Dragon Warrior. Regular Dragon Warrior.
No, I played... Well, maybe. I can't remember.
That's what I played. But in this one, there was no job. It was just you. And this game, I know this game came out before Final Fantasy because this character named Edwin or whatever it is, his grave is an Easter egg in Final Fantasy 1 on the NES. So this did come out first. Edward, I think that's his name. Here's 4 on Nintendo. Holy crap, I didn't know they had that many.
I'll have way more than that.
No, I mean on the NES.
Yeah, see, there were so many, I can't remember which one I played. I don't know why I'm saving.
I've only played one. I
Okay.
played it too. It's kind of fun.
How can I do the next cutscene? Gotta wait to...
I'm not watching. Oh, you're doing it now or not yet?
Yeah, I'm done, but I'm going to... I want to watch and see if there's a trailer of the new gameplay for Final Fantasy 16.
Hang Hang on, you didn't do the opening cutscene that they did for the anniversary of this game, by the way.
What? It didn't have one.
Not on the version you're playing, but they did. Man, they did make one.
What are you talking about?
This stuff. They absolutely did one on the PlayStation version. Remember, they did one for Final Fantasy 6 and 7. They added those opening and ending cutscenes.
I don't think they did it for 4.
Yes, they did.
They did it in the 3D version.
Well, whatever it was, we should have watched it.
Nah.
What 3D version? No, yes, they did, Lance. Hang on.
No, yeah, you're talking about a 3D
It's
version
right
cutscene.
here.
And that's part of the Pixel remake because it doesn't have all that extra stuff.
So what?
It is a cool.
It's cool to watch the opening cutscene. I always
There's
watch
stuff
it
about it that I don't
on the
like.
SNES.
There's stuff I like and stuff I don't.
The cutscene?
Okay, while you're looking for that, I'll look for.
Why don't you watch it? Why don't you pull it up and watch it?
Because I want to find the Final Fantasy 6 gameplay. 16. There it is, 16. We can watch it together and decide and judge.
So judgmental.
There it is for PS5. This is 4K.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay.
We can watch commercials together. It'll be awesome.
Electric unicycles.
I think I got it.
Okay.
Wow, graphics are awesome.
Paddle,
You can
only
get
pay
insurance.
What you need.
We're not watching all 45 minutes though.
Special thank you to Square Enix for the press demo footage. This gameplay demo of Final Fantasy XVI is going to be different from the official release when the game comes out. This was specially put together in a unique way, so some abilities are going to be given to the player earlier than you
That's
normally
kind of a
would get
cool
it in the game.
backscabbard.
Yeah, that's what I really like to get about this game. Like basically, that game I played is very
This
similar
footage is from about 5 hours into the game, so it's a bit of a ways in.
To what?
to
Oh, you mean this
Strangers
is like
in Paradise.
Fantasy VII
Clive
that you
and
like?
Torgal,
No.
along with Sid, are sneaking.
Well,
into
it might
the
be, I don't know.
Lord
I haven't
army
seen the
base,
combat,
and are
but-
searching for a dominate.
It is very much like the Final Fantasy Strangers in Paradise game that they made. You know, the
Now,
prequel to
personally, I
1.
don't like to play with adaptive triggers enabled on PS5 for multiplayer
Yeah.
games, but in single-player games, I most definitely will be using them, and that will for sure be the case with Final Fantasy XVI. Everything from the trigger feels mimicking the heavy gate and the subtle vibrations from playing the game will be a whole different experience in itself. The game is designed to include those details.
This is cool though because at least from what I've seen so far, the one thing I didn't like about Paradise, oh look, you have a dog, is it was too over the top.
Now, it's
Like
important
these
to
are
note
just
with the
normal
combat,
fantasy
I believe
weapons.
Final Fantasy VII Remake has one of the best, if not the best, combat systems that Square Enix has ever
I'm gonna, like,
developed. And a lot of people will be
Turn
looking at
his
that and
comment
comparing.
team down because I don't care.
Which I understand. However, one thing
If you wanna
note
listen to it,
Final Fantasy
watch
VII
him.
remakes and rebirths system
Watch his
is a
channel.
rounded experience simulator.
But you know what I'm saying? Like the other ones are way over the top. There's just so much like different colors and different weapons and fantasy
Yeah.
stuff instead of like,
You're talking about the color palettes and stuff on this, what you're watching right now?
yeah, this is way better.
It's like that old game Thief, like just walking around a very environmental, like a medieval castle. It's not all
That was cool though. He did like some kind of a warp spell. Yeah, this is more Final Fantasy VII Remake though. How's he casting fire? So it looks like you use your trigger. Final Fantasy
I had to
VII.
reload this footage due to an error
That is
on
cool.
my part,
I like
wanted
that.
to make sure it's back up
Yeah, I
and
like how
running
it's,
for you guys to enjoy.
okay, I'll admit, from watching this, I don't really care with watching you play 7. There's something to be said about the whatever it's called, the Mortal Kombat action versus the 3D Zelda walking around fighting instead of just side-scrolling text boxes. But it's a completely different game, and I think there's something. It's like a It's like playing a word game, like playing Zork in the old days, stuff like that. Like it's a specific type of a game, and I think those games are fun.
I think they're fine, but if I had a choice, I would rather play it.
And I suck at this stuff. I hate them. Not hate them. I'm just not as good.
Well, that's what's cool about Final Fantasy VII Remake, the way they did it. Is basically if you suck at stuff, it's just button mashing, and you can get pretty far in the game by just button mashing. In fact,
Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
like you can get halfway through the game up into the Hell House in Final Fantasy VII Remake until you really have to like start. Oh, I have to cast fire on his weakness or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the first time you really have to like really start strategizing and not just do button mashing.
Right.
Whereas if you want, you can play the harder, more difficult levels. In which case you do have to like almost every battle like sort of
Right.
plan it out.
But this isn't. It's not like round based, and that's what's kind of fun about. It's like more like a role playing game. It's like, okay, what do you do this round? I'm going to attack that, even though it's active mode and it's like rolling pretty or continually.
Well, active
Still-
mode was that. Like I said, Final Fantasy IV was the first one to introduce active mode.
right, and but it's still round based. Like, what do you do this round? It's not your
Right.
actual
It's
dexterity
menu-based.
movement controlling them, right? But when I think about Fable, as I said, I'm not good at these games. I love Fable, and Fable was like the first game with this gameplay that I remember being, and it wasn't the first, but it was one of the big ones that everyone loved. It was really popular.
Well, I would argue that the only reason they did the turn-based originally is because they just didn't have the technology to do action-based.
It was a different type. It was like based on Dungeons and Dragons. That's what Dungeons and Dragons was. Dungeons and Dragons is a turn-based worded game. Like you issue actions instead of actually doing the action.
So
Or
this looks
playing
like the same as Final Fantasy, where you can like do a break, where if you do specific combos, it like breaks them, and then you can do extra damage and
Yeah,
stuff.
see, and then it gets some complicated stuff like that, and I suck at those kind of things. It's like really advanced fighting games. I'm just not good at them anyway. But I can sit there and know what on a high level what my magic spell is going to be and who's going to use which espers, and I can figure that stuff out because that's a different challenge.
Well, I think you need to try it because it's not as hard as you think. It does sound complicated, but you do it so repetitively. I'm going to skip ahead.
I just really like it.
Good.
Okay, so here's one of the
Live Sid and Torgal made their way deeper into the army.
here's one of the first cutscenes.
What they've been looking for. I'm not gonna talk here to ruin the experience for you
Yeah,
guys.
so don't talk.
Enjoy.
Oh, cough.
Because I hear they say swears in this one,
Ooh.
which is like one of the first.
Little late for prayer, isn't it?
I like their accents.
Do I seem so desperate as to grovel at the feet of a false god? I was waiting for you.
Not for too long, I hope.
They put some money and time into the voice acting, at least.
Well, let's chat then. Where are the men and women you took from Lostwing?
You mean where's the dominant? Waleed shall be requiring his
Yeah.
services indefinitely.
Can't really hear it anyway.
I'm actually sort of disappointed in.
I need you. Think of all the things we can.
Might be because I turned the volume down.
No, I can't hear it because I can't. If I turn it on, I can't hear it over you. It's fine.
create together.
I'm sort of disappointed in the graphics, to be honest, though. Like, those are amazing graphics, but I would argue that Final Fantasy VII Remake's graphics are better. And this should be better than that because it came out later. I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake is more than 2 years old now.
Together. The world.
Yeah, when are they supposed to come out with the next part?
You need me.
It's supposed to be this year or the beginning of next
Your
year.
king needs me.
Is it
All for building
the
a new
last of
world.
it, or is it going to be
No,
two more?
it's- there's going to be one additional.
Bastard's
It's going to be a
dream. Twisted and
trilogy.
promises are false. And I want no part of it.
But it's going to pick up your stats and your equipment and stuff to move into the second.
I don't know. That remains. It caps you at level 50, so it makes you think that maybe
Who used
they
me.
will, but I don't know. I hope they do, but
You know nothing.
Yeah,
of
it'd have to
basic
determine
office.
your gear and stuff, what spells you have or whatever. I don't know.
Or what you want.
Who's your girlfriend that you've played out so far?
I only know what you used to say.
Exactly.
You were tired
No.
of living. That you just wanted to be free. Free of it all. You weren't lying to me then, so what changed? What made you
The guy
think
looks like
you had to
Simon Cowell from
sacrifice
American
who you
Idol.
were to get what you wanted?
Sacrifice. I use my talents to my advantage, and you would tell me there is shame in that?
If there's no shame, then why do you feel so sorry for yourself?
Arousing speech, Lord Commander. I was a fool to believe you might have changed.
Lord Commander.
The only person I feel sorry for is you! I can't do this anymore.
Then turn into her summon.
If you would stand between our leash and his dream, then you leave me no choice.
What game is this?
Final Fantasy 16.
16.
Remember, 15 was emo guys go on a road trip.
Stand back, Clive.
No. I don't remember that.
I actually liked 15. It was fun, but it copies 7 too much.
Emo guy goes on a road trip. Did I watch you play that?
No, I don't think so. Anyway, skipping ahead. Wow, look at that. That's cool.
Position yet?
Oh no, this is not as cool as I thought it was. Yeah, as I already said the S word. How edgy. So yeah, this basically, it does, I like how it's fantasy, that they're going back to the fantasy, which is one of the big things that they're doing in this one. I also like how it's basically using the combat system of Final Fantasy VII Remake. I wonder if it'll have the option, because Final Fantasy VII Remake will let you play it turn-based if you want. It just surprises me, because Square Enix always pushes the graphical boundaries, and then this one, it's like, they're like, meh, this is good enough.
No, none of this stuff just impresses me anymore. Just graphics are all, they just all look good now. It's just like special effects. Like if I see a movie trailer that has like amazing special effects, I'm like, all right, what else are you gonna got? What else have you got? It's not enough for me.
Well, I like this one because it doesn't feel,
It feels
That's
very
pretty
cinematic.
cool.
It doesn't feel like a video game.
well, it doesn't feel like too over the top.
Yeah.
In terms, like, the problem with Final Fantasies is, like, everything looks amazing, and so nothing looks amazing.
Yes.
Like, you
yes.
gotta have, like in the background looks like a normal mountains and forests and
Yeah.
stuff.
It's
Like, everything doesn't have to look like you come upon this amazing scenery.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I like that. I like how they went that way.
Because you want to be able to stop and focus on like the story, you know. Oh, look at all this crazy cool stuff.
Well, it's just the whole. It's like in music, you gotta have like slow parts and boring parts, so that when the exciting parts come, it's exciting.
Right.
If everything's exciting, then nothing's exciting.
Right.
So anyway,
It's
it
a little
looks.
different. It's like how I feel about the not Rise of Skywalker, The Last Jedi. Is like that movie. It is so cinematically, it was so good. The music and the music's fine, but the CGI and the special effects and everything, and the way it was shot, it was so artistically done. It looks so good. It looks too good for a Star Wars movie.
Okay, here's your opening, Tim.
Yay!
Oh, there's an opening for After Years. I've never seen that.
Yeah,
Have I?
I don't care.
Oh, I want to see that.
Don't care.
I don't think I've seen it.
Is that the sequel we tried to play?
Yeah, it was terrible. I could not get into it. I tried like a couple times, and it doesn't have a story. It's just like, okay, you can choose whose boring backstory you want to watch.
And you're like, Well, this is Rydia's daughter. She's just like Rydia. This is Kane's son, just like Kane.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go, Tim.
I'm not gonna be able to hear it because it'll be an echo. Actually, start it over. I can listen. I can cue it up here. Start over. Start over. Do 1, 2, 3, go. Start it over.
Tell me when you're ready. Are you
Okay,
there,
no.
Tim? Okay, 1, 2, 3, play. I want to know which one of the guys in Final Fantasy was obsessed with crystals. He's
Some
like,
guy doing meth.
okay, we can do anything you want, guys, but we're gonna have crystals in every single one.
Well, they couldn't use a golden triangle. That was already taken.
Oh, look at those moons. Mini moons. Yeah, that armor is pretty cool.
That's what you're talking about. When they look like that, it's like, well, not everyone can have fancy, crazy, ridiculous armor like that.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah. It looks
Like if
great.
it was that armor and those clothes, but there was just a plain castle,
Yeah.
then it'd be fine. But it's not. Look at that castle. It's like everything is so over the top.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we gotta show the airship too.
That helmet is so awesome. Things. Yeah, they didn't have fins on the bottom originally.
There's your favorite character, Tim.
Oh, Yang?
No, the bard,
Oh,
Palamon Porum.
Yeah.
the stoners. Get it, Tim? It's Golbat, or no, that's Radagast or whatever his name is. Rada. Oh, what was his name?
Oh,
The evil guy. Rydia.
what? Oh, and the Bastion. I like how giant the crystals are. You can't just put them in your pocket and walk away. Look at that cat. See, that's exactly what you're talking about. That castle's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like so over the top.
It's like, you can't. That's the Tower of Babel. Oh, and there's the robot. And the tanks. The dwarf tanks.
You're behind.
I know.
Good Cecil. Go Bez. Oh, that's cool that it shows him throwing shurikens though.
Yeah. It makes
Don't
it look like
kill-
it's like a combo move, but it's not. Or the blue whale! Or just the whale. We're going to this moon. After they run away, they'll go to the next moon.
Okay, I'm gonna watch this Final Fantasy IV opening, the After Years. So I don't really think I've ever seen it. I must. Well, I don't know. I had the game. I still have it, so I must have seen it. I just don't remember it. I must be Rydia's daughter. Or, I mean, Rose's daughter.
She loves the moon. Maybe in that game we go to the other moon. King Cecil.
Oh, there's our baby. That's terrible graphics. Is Cecil's? Did Cecil have a daughter or a son? Red Wings again.
How are the White Wings?
Yeah, now they're older. Huh. Look how it like matches the original. Starts out with Yang. They're doing the exact same form, only with his daughter.
Yeah, we did watch this.
And Parliament Forum again.
I'm still alone and bored.
Only now they're white and black mages. That's cool. And there's the Tower of Babel again. Rydia's daughter. Oh! Did Cain end up liking Rydia? I think he did, didn't he? When he couldn't get Rosa. That's interesting. I never realized it parallels the old trailer almost exactly. Yeah, I mean, it was an okay game. It was just very grindy, and it didn't really have a story that you could follow.
It took a long time to get around to like characters even meeting each other.
Yeah.
And you could like play it in whatever chapter you wanted. It's like, hey, just tell me the story. Don't make me. It's not a write your own adventure. Like, just do it.
Okay, Tim. Any parting thoughts for our first episode of Final Fantasy IV, the best Final Fantasy ever?
No, just wanted to point out this is exactly what I was talking about. There's this dark, awesome fantasy, and then there's like cartoon character, and they're like, this is exactly what I'm saying. This story and these characters completely work in either version. It's just super cool. I still think some of my favorite characters are still in 7, but Final Fantasy, as far as a fun, epic fantasy story, I think this is the best story. But I still say the first game would be the best one to make a movie out of if they punched it up.
I disagree because one just has. If you stuck with the basic story, yes, but one has very like the time travel stuff. That's just it gets way too, and you get some of that weird like quasi Final Fantasy stuff going on. The further you go,
complicated. It's way complicated than the thing you played through, but just the general. It's just a Dungeons and like a Conan movie. It's a very basic dark fantasy story. Just go around to a couple kingdoms, go this, save the prince, go do this, save the
yes, until the end though, Tim, and the end gets complicated.
It's not that complicated. You go to the tower, you fight the guy, there's the big reveal, and he's like, I'm sending you back in time, and you fight chaos in the past, and then it like has this cool little epilogue cliffhanger where you're like, well, here we are in the future with the orbs. Just again, erase all that garbage from the not garbage, it was really cool what they did. But erase all that stuff from the game you played through, the Afterlife or whatever.
No, but I would argue that Final Fantasy IV has the exact same feel, except it doesn't get into the like really quasi fantasy.
You would have to do like a trilogy to get through that, though.
It's longer, yeah.
It's way long, and I would be fine with that. If you had Peter Jackson do Final Fantasy IV, I would be all on board.
Yeah, they could make like a television series. They're actually coming out with I don't know if they've already released it, but they are doing a cartoon, an animated Final Fantasy series right now, and they've done actually you should watch it, Tim. There is an anime Final Fantasy they did that was awesome. It has this bag in it. What? No, not that. It was like a cartoon anime.
Yeah.
That lasted multiple episodes. It had a train, an interdimensional train or something. But it was pretty good. I liked it. Anyways, so
I think it's my favorite. It's my favorite story, but I think Final Fantasy VI is the superior game. I think that is the best, and for a lot of people, that's the most popular Final Fantasy.
It had the most memorable moments in it. I think. Yeah. Dramatic, memorable.
No one even remembers what happened in 7. Like everyone remembers that they loved it, but no one.
Well, there is one moment in 7 that everyone will always remember.
Of course. Right. But I'm saying, and there's videos of people on YouTube, people experiencing that moment. But I
For
think,
the first time.
right, yeah. But but Final Fantasy six, I think that was like the what do you call the jumping the shark game, because like it was still the original old pixelated versions, the top view scrolling around in squares, and before he went 3D with seven, but it wasn't and it wasn't sci-fi yet. It was like steampunk, but it wasn't like final sci-fi like seven turned into. It was still a fantasy story, a medieval story.
Yeah.
But this one is the story wise is a really great. Um, just you have Cecil from the beginning to the end. You don't lose him in any part of the story like in six, but you just his arc, which we talked about from this episode or this your video tonight. He the setup of his character, his relationships with everyone in the castle, the reaction to the public, and his motives, how he feels about everything, his loyalty of his own troops on the Red Wings, and then his arc throughout the story as he embraces the light and it learns about his history, his pedigree, and all that stuff. That's just really good narrative. It's just really good storytelling in this cool fantasy world.
Well,
And
he
then
has a very complex character. He's like,
yeah,
he's
And they all
loyal,
get
but at the time, the king is obviously corrupt, which you find, spoiler alert, you find out later he's being possessed by demons or whatever. And
right.
but you get, again, this is the first game where it's like, holy cow, video games can have adult themes, they can have complex themes, they can have amazing music, they can turn into like classics of in the music genre just in general, not just in video games.
Then you were actually engaged. You were excited to learn what happened next. It wasn't just about unlocking the next part of the castle.
It wasn't just about gameplay. It wasn't just about getting to the next dungeon and killing the enemies.
It wasn't as punchy as certain other games with certain moments where it got emotional. But in this game, you were invested in the characters, which is why I completely hate that they bring everyone back at the end. There's certain ones that they do. But and it's not because certain ones I wish they left them gone, but I'm like, that made it real. And I forgot. I remember last time you played through it, we were arguing about it. It's like, they don't bring everyone back. You like, yes,
yeah,
they did.
you were. I think you were talking about Apollo Moporum, and I was like, later on they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and you said no, everyone comes back. I said no, Edward's gone. You're like, nope. He's alive.
Well, that's the reason 7 was so amazing, because it was really one of the first video games where they're like,
yeah, we'll leave it there. But there were stakes. But as far as this one, it's the best. It really is, I think, the best.
I think it's the best holistic Final Fantasy.
Really?
Even
do you think it's a game or just all round? Do you think it's a better game than 7 or 6?
I think 6 has some issues. 6 has some pacing issues. I don't think you ever really get that with 4.
I'll agree with that. And they do break ground with this, but in the next one, they do break ground with things like splitting up your party and stuff.
Well,
like
you
that.
say the next one meaning 6, which isn't actually the next one.
Yeah, 6. But I agree, there are pacing issues in the story, and then once it becomes like really open world in the second half of the game, which we've talked about before, I agree with you to an extent on some of that. I think it does railroad you to a. It's
also anticlimactic because you stop losing interest in the enemy. Like when he's just Kefka, then he was amazing. He was a great, terrible enemy. But then he just becomes this like weird Morpheus like enemy, and he's no longer
and he's just like the villain at the top of the castle, and so you just have to gather your troops and get to the last level. He's not in the story at all.
Yeah.
Other than everyone talking about how much this world sucks.
Right.
Because of his reign.
And even them. Yeah. So
it'd be kind of like if Darth Vader wasn't in like Return of the Jedi, he just appeared at the very end of the movie, and we were just like,
he's like, kill me just to fight.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, exactly. He was like, we had this big moment at the end of Empire Strikes Back, and he just wasn't there. And Luke had to get the revivables, do the plan, fight the Death Star, take out the track or the beam, and then Luke gets up and fights Vader and wins. It's like, well,
but there are. I mean, I agree with you. There's like the opera scene. There's just like moments in 6 that are just mind blowing, and like you'll never forget, and like just seep into your soul.
I will argue, Lance. I love Cecil and Rosa, but Locke and Celeste have a stronger relationship because it's built throughout the story multiple times.
I still don't think that they get together, Tim. Because
So-
I don't think in Final Fantasy VI he ever gets over Rachel.
When we get, I will.
I don't
be
think
with
he
you
ever
at the
gets
next-
over.
When you get to the next game, we will play through. And
No, there's definitely sexual tension between the two, but
no,
he's
it's not
got
just
that Rachel problem.
Not just
And
that.
they leave it open, and that's what the
No,
problem
they
I have with 7 is they should have
No, they
just
don't.
left. They should have just left Cloud and Tifa. Like, I don't know. It's
Well,
there's a
seven's
triangle there.
At 6, they have a definite relationship arc. But
Sure, they have a relationship arc, but it doesn't end with them being together.
Not just we're friends.
I know, but it doesn't end with them being together.
We'll get there in a few months. I know it doesn't conclusively say that, but it's absolutely implied. Anyway, much more than, and he doesn't just go off and become a bachelor mourning Rachel's death. He's into her. Anyway, okay, I like it. It's a fun game. I'm excited to watch you go through it. And I'm glad you're not playing the one I hate with this kind of art.
So thanks for joining, and join us for the next episode. Who knows when it'll be. No, I'm going to play more frequently. Probably at least once a week. So, all right,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.